Never before has gambling been so heavily promoted and accessible, especially through sport. This makes it feel like a normal part of the game and harder for students to recognise the potential harm. We want students to love the game, not the odds. The School Education Program is here to support you, to help your students develop healthy and informed attitudes to gambling as they approach adulthood. This instruction video and the unit it explains forms part of a wider suite of resources and tools to assist you and your school tackle this important wellbeing issue. This video supports the Knowing the Score unit of work, which can be downloaded from our website. It's really flexible. You can deliver it as one discrete unit or pick and modify tasks to suit your students' needs. For optimal results, we'd suggest sticking with the recommended terminology and learning outcomes. The primary learning intention for this unit is to understand what are the drivers making gambling feel like a normal part of life, to appreciate that it is a way to spend rather than make money, and fully understand the risks involved. We also want students to be aware if gambling is becoming an issue and where to seek help. The tasks within this unit are based on our free face-to-face senior student workshop. You can book a place through our website for Year 10 to 12 classes, including VCAL. To assist you in teaching this unit, we'd encourage you to actively take part in the workshop along with your students. During this unit, your class will work in groups and use information from the workshop to create and evaluate a publication, such as a magazine, for an audience of their choice. The tasks and rubrics included enable students to meet competencies from the VCAL Personal Development Skills at intermediate and senior level. Students will have the opportunity to provide evidence of completing these competencies to the agreed standard.
This unit of work was engaging for the students. It's all linked directly to the VCAL outcomes, and basically it's all just at your fingertips. It's a one-stop shop and very easy for teachers to pick up and run with it.
Like any potentially sensitive topic, we'd recommend you and your class set some ground rules together to promote a safe learning space, covering things like how to fairly and respectfully participate in class discussions, what's appropriate to disclose in the classroom, and what students can do if they feel uncomfortable. When discussing gambling with students, be mindful not to give the impression that betting underage is normal. Also, try to avoid mentioning specific gambling brand names, as this may promote the company in question. Instead, think about different types of gambling, such as sports betting, lotteries, and pokies. When broaching the concept of risk, be mindful that often students are of the opinion they won't run into serious trouble. Try to focus on short-term harms, such as being unable to purchase items they want. This will help them recognise the trade-off between spending money on gambling and being able to afford things they value, such as having the means to go out with mates or the latest smartphone. Lastly, try to replace the term gambling with betting, as students tend to relate to this term better, and reiterate to the class that these words can be used interchangeably. The tuning in section of the learning sequence should take around 30 to 60 minutes. Here, you'll lead a discussion with your class about what they've learned during the senior student workshop. Students can then record these learnings on their own reflection sheet, located in Appendix 1 on pages 12 and 13. The next section of the unit should take about 2 hours. It involves familiarising your students with the group task of developing and evaluating a publication. Here, you'll support students to create working groups and complete their planning template. To do this, make sure students have all the required documents listed in Appendix 2 on page 14. The purpose of the publication is to help young people know the score when it comes to gambling, so they can develop healthy and informed attitudes to avoid future harm as they head towards legal age. Expectations will vary depending on the PDS level of your class. Make sure students are familiar with the competencies and what evidence is required. When completing this section of the unit, remember that even though students are planning as a group, they still need to fill out their own individual planning template. Students should bear in mind that the publication they produce does not have to target young people. The target audience can be parents, teachers, sport coaches, or even grandparents. Encourage students to be creative. The next section will take about 2 hours. Students will be asked to share their publication with their target audience and evaluate its effectiveness using a survey or another tool that captures audience feedback. See Appendix 5 on page 24 for a handout to assist students. The assessment and feedback section will take about an hour and includes an assessment rubric that specifically addresses each of the PDS learning outcomes covered. This tool is most effective when used for self, teacher and peer evaluation. That concludes our instruction video for this unit. If, while completing this, you become concerned that gambling may be an issue for one of your students or their family and friends, you can refer them to our free and confidential Gamblers Health Youthline support service. They can call 1800 262 376 or visit gamblershelp.com.au/youthline. You can also contact this service for advice and support. We'd encourage you to let your school's wellbeing staff know that you're undertaking this unit and be aware of who to inform if you become concerned. For more information, visit our Love the Game website.